let's talk a bit about how as a group you're able to increase or add shareholder value, right? So what would be your take on how as a group you can get to a place to enhance shareholder return?
So shareholder returns are very simply a function of two things, right? And really a function of one when you think about it sustainably. So if you think about it from a sustainable perspective, to add shareholder value, you just have to keep on solving more problems for customers and doing it more efficiently. So a strong, just like I said to start off, you're walking around looking at somebody, say, what are your problems? What are your challenges? What are your difficulties? We want to come up with a solution for that. And the second thing is we need to make sure we are, especially given our scale, we are the best, the most efficient in the market. And if we do those two things, our revenues will go up, our margins will be good, and our customers will have low costs. So, and if our revenues are growing and our margins are good, shareholder value is created. And if revenues go up, that's a sign that customers like what we're providing to them. And if the customer's cost per transaction, cost per unit is going down, it means we're actually adding value to their lives. We're making their life more efficient. And so that would be kind of the sustainable model. Is the best way for us to add value for shareholders is to drive efficiency into the business and keep on helping customers grow their wealth, giving them more solutions to grow their wealth. Because every time we can do that, we've added value to the customer. And every time we do it with more efficiency, we simultaneously add value to the shareholder.
Okay. So there was a great move and drive to return to paying dividends. You were able to pay dividends late last year, and I believe you are, preparing to do so again. Has that, move back to dividends had the intended impact, would you say, in shareholder satisfaction and maybe other things?
I'd say it's beginning. Trust is something that's earned. So some people say trust is earned over a long period of time and lost very quickly. So when we didn't pay dividends when we break the expectation and don't pay. Don't pay dividends, but it could apply to anything. So just think of anything that you have the expectation that I will do for you every single day. And then when I don't do it one day, you kind of go, what happened? And, I was expecting you to, I don't know, deliver me this bread or whatever. I was expecting you to do it every day. And then you don't do it. And then the second day, you kind of go, hey, 2 days in a row, you haven't showed up with what I was expecting. What's going on? And then 3 days in a row, you haven't showed up. Now I'm no longer trusting you, because you had given me, I had an expectation. We had a deal. I gave you my capital. You gave me back dividends. What's going on? And so we have to get back to restoring that, provide the consistency that earns back that trust. And it'll be reflected. Then I think it'll be reflected in the share price as well, because the share price of a company is a function of its earnings, its power, it's what it actually earns. It's also a function of the confidence that the market, the investors have in its ability to continue doing what it's doing and its ability to do more. And so when you look at our share price, we've moved up in the last while, so we're getting some recognition. We definitely stabilized because it was going down, and I think we have more work to do to maintain the consistency and rebuild the confidence that folks have that says, I can count on you to do a number of things. I can count on you for an ABM to work. I can count on you to pay a dividend. I can count on you to have a good investment, a good savings solution for me. I can count on you pay out on the car insurance when I buy it from you, I can count on you to do what you said you were going to do.
So that was gonna be my very next question, right? What do you think, in addition to paying dividends, you would need to do as a group to get back to the levels that you're coming from? Because you're I believe at your peak maybe $230, $240 thereabout. So you have in fact stabilized, but you are a ways from your all-time high. So I do agree that dividends returning to that will build trust. But what else maybe could you do to maybe accelerate that return?
Yeah. So one is, so it's to accelerate. Actually, a really that's a really good word. So I was going to say, hey, to in order to get back there without introducing the element of time, it's about increasing the amount of value that we provide to customers and generating higher profits, being more efficient. So make sure our capital is allocated to the right things, the things that are in the highest returns, make sure we operate very efficiently, and make sure we keep on providing more goods and more value to the customer. But your point on acceleration is important because it's a function of helping people to see what the future of this organization, with this group, will be. Today, if you looked at the stock market in the US is going up, and primarily because one company is soaring called NVIDIA on artificial intelligence chips for computers, and so some people would ask, like, my God, NVIDIA's valuation is crazy. Its multiple is through the roof. But what they have is they have an entire population of customers or investors who are looking at it and looking into the future and saying, well, I can see where it's going. And I can see how, I don't know how high can be because we don't know where the end of artificial intelligence is. We don't know how much value can be created. So it's kind of infinite in how much value can be created. And NVIDIA is in the best position to capture it. It's the engine of that. So the confidence is there that NVIDIA is the engine, and there is no really upper limit on how much NVIDIA can grow. And so that's the pace is people starting to see that about NCB. So what you have to think about here, and the reason I bring up wealth a number of times is because there is no limit to how high wealth could grow. So if you just think of Jamaica and where Jamaica is today, and then you contrast that with one of the wealthiest countries in the world, you say, wow, we can go from there to there. There's no real reason why we can't go from where Jamaica is today to where, I don't know, where Dubai or Switzerland or something is in terms of wealth. Or just let's look in the US and just say go to US per capita income. But remember that the people in the US don't think that they're at the limit. They're thinking they're just starting their wealth creation journey to go from where they are to 2 times, 3 times, 4 times where they are today. And so they're buying NVIDIA not because they're thinking the developing countries are going to grow to them. They're buying NVIDIA because they're saying we're going to go from here to here. And so when we talk about wealth creation, we're saying wealth creation, there's no limit to how much wealth can be created for people. It's limitless, and so, or it's open-ended at least. And the platform that NCB has is we have all these Caribbean customers. We are the people's bank, the people's insurance company, Jamaica, Trinidad, all through the region. We have all these customer relationships. We have all this access to all the tools they need in order for them to create wealth. And it's not finite. It's not like you run out of it. It's the more you create, the more you can create. And that means we have a revenue generating, an earnings capability that can keep on going. So the power of the platform of NCB, what I'm trying to say is the power of that platform of NCB Guardian is it's because it's got this massive customer base. It's like thinking of Facebook, Meta, or Google, or what makes these entities valuable is their big customer base. And the fact that when they start doing anything, the adoption across that entire customer base is really big. It's not a little increase, it's a big increase. So, like I said, NVIDIA, I think the increase in NVIDIA today is equivalent to the entire value of Disney. And so you bring that into our context, is we do something, we earn our earnings every year are, the value of many companies in the region. So if we can help people create a little bit more wealth, and because we're doing it for so many people, it generates a lot of earnings for NCB. And when it generates a lot of earnings for NCB, it creates a lot of shareholder value. But the accelerate is about taking what's in our heads as our vision, communicating it to to the investor community, and having them trust us that when we said we were going to do something, it's not going to be 100%, but it's a pretty good bet.